What's cooking, Juventus fans? Welcome back to your old lady's favorite YouTube channel. We're going over a couple things today regarding the comments that Allegri and Vlahovic had to say following the match that was against Empoli. Some issues they need to work on, some issues with the club, questions that I have for Allegri. I think there's a lot of us that have questions about what Allegri is doing. But then we're also got an update regarding the injury to Zakaria. We've got another potential option for the transfer market when we're coming in the summer. And some news regarding the Super League. Stick with us. We'll fill you in. Ciao ragazzi, welcome back to the Bianconeri Zone. My name is Justin Sofro. Today, it's Sunday, February 27th, 2022. And of course, I have your latest rundown of all things Juventus, all the good news that you care about. It's hard for me to believe, obviously, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, that it's almost springtime. We're almost here at the month of March, one of my favorite months of the year. Obviously, it's my birthday month too, so that doesn't hurt it anyway. But if you guys are new here, smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos that you can get each and every day on this channel. Let's just go ahead and just jump into it. I'll have plenty of comments to say along the way, but we have a little bit to go over, and these are some long graphics. All right, first one up, we're going along with some of Vlahovic's comments from the match that was against Empoli with Juventus TV. He said, an individual can never go win without a team. All the credit goes to the team. If we are compact, if we are united, if we all go together, we can achieve great results. All the paper talks about me. I certainly wasn't used to all of this. As the coach also said, but with the right head, with calm, determination, work, concentration, you can do anything. My teammates, the coach, everyone in the club, and all people at Juve are helping me a lot. They help me a lot, and I thank them again. I hope we will continue like this. So really just a lot of positive comments, really. They're just giving you a basic little purview of the mindset of Dusan'S Vlahovic. A lot of things I like there. I like that, obviously, I mean, he's not taking all the credit on himself. It's not just being like, hey, I'm this guy. It has to do with the team too. Even though maybe we could argue that the team he has to work with isn't the best to really set him up for success, just because we've talked about issues with the midfield, issues with some of the guys that he's partnered alongside with. We talk about Moise Kean and his issues. Yeah, he did score a goal, but he's still not out of the woods just yet. One of the comments I did like to see, though, is that he was really focused really just on working on it. I like to see a little bit of that even though really Vlahovic is one of those special players that could be something, Juventus is gambling that he could end up being a Ronaldo level player down the line. So we'll see how that ends up panning out. But I like to see this kind of like mindset from him. I like to see that he's focused on working and just trying to get better, even though my man had a brace and really just was the guy for Juventus yesterday, and what Juventus really is going to have to lean into. He's going to have to be the guy for Juventus for the upcoming months. All right, let's continue on with Allegri's comments to Juventus TV. And oh my goodness, Alejandro, what did you do to me with this tiny text? Here we go. All right, from a character point of view, we immediately saw that Dusan is someone who wants to win. He has a fighting spirit, and above all, he wants to learn a lot. Vlahovic is an important player, a player with great character as well as technical player. He's a player that we didn't have for his characteristics within the team. Well, no duh. The closest thing you had to that kind of player, you lost when Ronaldo left, and then nobody else was really up to snuff. Give Ronaldo his credit, but at the same time, I'm thankful that Dusan Vlahovic is here. I think he can be something potentially more special than what Ronaldo was when he was here. That's not to discredit Ronaldo as a player, but just the factors, all the other factors in how they melded into together with each other. It just didn't turn out to be a good experiment for the club. He goes on to say that I think Dusan has a lot of room for improvement because today he moved more. He didn't stay only in the center, and he was an important advantage for him and for us. Dusan is at the beginning of his career. He has the qualities to have a great career. The important thing is, as I say, to stay at great levels, at the level of quarterfinals, semifinals, or finals of the UCL. You need to have a crazy mental strength, because it's not one game you become good and that's enough. You need many, many appearances in Juventus, many appearances in the UCL. It's a path that Dusan started, and now he'll carry it on in his best way. So really, just a lot of comments talking about Dusan, giving him praises, talking about what he can work on. I mean, I agree with a lot of it, but of course there's a lot of other things that the team needs to work on as well to do their part to really help him. And I don't know what is on these strings, but I am just noticing that in the video. So anyway, give me a pass there. Anyway, let's continue on, though. Max Allegri then goes on to say with Juventus TV, we need to improve a bit in the dribbling phase. With Locatelli, it was better because he is more of a player who has dribbling characteristics. Locatelli and Artur can play together. Even if they couldn't, they need to. I don't have any players, so you have to make it work. I don't have any other players, which is absolutely true. Right now, Juventus are struggling because everybody is injured. We're going to talk about, obviously, the injury with Zakaria. I mean, I've harped on it enough. If you've been watching the channel, we know the injury issues and how they are currently plaguing Juventus, and hopefully Juventus can get through this rough patch of the injuries. But at the same time, it's kind of frustrating because I feel like every fan out there at this point, if you've been on Twitter, if you've been on any social media of commentary with what's going on with Juventus, you've seen people be like, can we please utilize Locatelli and Artur together? One thing we know about Artur is that he unlocks something that Locatelli is able to do because of the way he plays. He allows Locatelli to play more to his skill set. Otherwise, Locatelli is playing much too far. Anyway, I've said this enough. I don't need to keep talking about that each and every day. But I'm glad to see that Allegri's maybe finally coming in and agreeing that we're going to need to play a little Locatelli and a little Artur together. Continuing on, he goes on to say, we come from many tough games. Let's not forget that we played Atalanta, Torino, and Verona, one after the other, with Sassuolo in between, which are games that are physical. Then a UCL round of 16, which is not only physical, but also mentally. Then in the first half, paradoxically, there was a lot of wind, and it was also difficult to play. In the second half, we should have had the wind in our back, but it stopped, so we played a game without wind, but I'm happy for the team. I mean, I'll be honest, I understand to some aspect of how the wind can affect your game. Obviously, when you're trying to deliver certain balls, and obviously the wind will carry it a little bit more than you're used to. Yeah, that's fine. I think that's a normal part of the game, though. I don't know, it was just kind of weird to point that out. That's just part of the game, right? That's part of the game. It's something you should be used to. I don't think it's anything abnormal when you're playing the game of, soccer, calcio, where it's outdoors. That's part of the game. I don't know. It was just a weird commentary, unless it was that crazy wind. Somebody, if you were there at the game or if you really noticed, let me know if the wind was that crazy. Did we have hurricane winds blowing the ball around in the first half? Let me know. Continuing on. He goes on to say we conceded the 3-2. We risked to conceding the 3-3, but the team sacrificed itself. We have many players out, so I didn't even have the possibility to recover players. We have to take one step at a time. Winning at Empoli is never easy. It's always a difficult pitch, and today it was windy. We need to improve our dribbling and on some ball handling, but that was a good spirit that I like. I tell the players the Scudetto is possible. That was a question to him, I guess. No, they know that. Our aim is to get into the top four. In order to do that, we need to have a lot of continuity because there's Atalanta, Lazio coming up, Fiorentina, who have a game less. I mean, and that's fair. That's fair to say, yeah, that it's really probably not possible. My issue with this case is not saying that it would be possible, but if you didn't lay an egg during the Atalanta match, during the Torino match, whatever have you, during the stretch, you're looking at 4 more points that Juve would have had. 4 more points that you could have capitalized off of. And right now, Juve would be sitting there with 54 points. You'd be not that far away from the leaders to at least be in the conversation. Do I think that you're going to end up competing at the end for them? Probably not. Juve, especially now. I don't see it happening. Guys can keep laying eggs, but at the same time, Juve's going to drop points. We know it's going to happen, right? So just get top 4, focus on top 4. Would I love a Scudetto? Absolutely, of course I would. 9 years in a row. You think I'm not itching to get another one, but at the same time, I understand what this team looks like. I understand the injury situation. But Allegri's got to do his job to put this team in a better situation. Obviously, now he's got it now, because all these injuries are piling up. So now we can't really complain as much as we would like to about the lineups we're getting put out there. We can't complain as much about the substitution pattern that I've been complaining about for the last few games. But also, one thing we can complain about is if he's not utilizing some of the youth there. The Sules, the Akes, the Mirettis of the world, or of the club, right? So we'll see what happens there. Hopefully Allegri doesn't do anything to undercut the team's ability to perform and play well. All right, next up. We got the update on Zakaria and his injury basically status. Romeo Gresti reports saying that Zakaria will undergo instrumental examinations tomorrow to assess the problem with the abductor region of his left thigh. So from there, we'll have a better idea about how severe the injury is, how long he may be out. I think right now the initial report is 2 weeks that he'll be out. But the thing is, when they say 2 weeks out, that means 2 weeks out of what's the word I'm looking for? 2 weeks out of training, right? That doesn't mean 2 weeks and then he's back to playing. It means 2 weeks and then he can come back to training. And then he'll train for how long? And you know this process by now. If you're a Juve fan, you're unfortunately well versed in this process of players getting injured and how long it takes for them to come back. It's going to be, unfortunately, probably close to a month before you see him back to performing like this, which is very frustrating given the situation. I hope I'm wrong, but it feels that way to me, especially if it is a muscle issue like that. All right, next up, La Stampa is reporting that Juventus are now looking at Torino right back Singo. That is Wilfried Singo. The player is valued at around 15 to 20 million euros, a sum that Juve would only be willing to spend in the event of this player's offensive improvement, as he still has some flaws in the offensive phase. One of the things I'm wondering is, I don't know exactly, just going off of this, what his contract situation is. Does it expire? Are they going to sign him on a free? Well, they're not signing him on a free. They're putting the value out there. What am I thinking? But at the same time, here's the way I approach this, and I believe this every single time. I don't believe that Torino will do anything to do a deal with Juve ever. I think Cairo is a giant POS, and I think he is not willing to work with Juventus. That's my personal opinion. Juventus have obviously worked with them. They have sold players to Torino recently. For some reason, Torino and Cairo are very petty and will not do any positive deals for Juventus. So I do not blame for Juventus when they undercut him with the Gotti deal recently. We'll see how that works out for Juventus. So that's why I'm not operating on a strong belief that I believe this player will come to Juventus. If he does, I'd be interested in that. But also, I don't know what all he can do, especially if we're looking at this for the summer mercado, what he can do to really prove that he has improved his value there offensively that much, right? Maybe besides delivering more crosses, creating some assists, and scoring more goals, which is a tough task to ask for somebody who's playing at the right back position. It's not very common to see them regularly be able to, maybe prove that in the next couple months. So we'll see how that pans out. We'll see, but that is another name that's on the table. Let me know your thoughts on Wilfried Singo. And then finally, kind of a bigger news story of the day is a story that Juventus News 24 reported about the Super League as an idea is coming back. According to the English media, on March 3rd, during an event organized by the Financial Times, Agnelli will illustrate the new Super League with the possibility of qualification for all teams. The club wants to have more decision-making power on the economic parameters. I don't know why economic. Anyway, that's the latest update when it comes to the Super League. It's coming back with a vengeance. We'll see if it ends up getting any traction. We know, obviously, there's plenty of issues that have gone on with the UCL, with UEFA, with Sheffield. It's funny how that's just kind of quieted down and how Sheffield's kind of disappeared, obviously, because there's nothing you could really do to Juventus or Barca or Real Madrid to really hurt them. We'll see if this ramps things back up, if we start seeing ugly comments and ugly wars back and forth between, the teams and UEFA and Sheffield and everything else that goes on with that, will it be better in the long run for the club to pursue, I guess, success? And will the other teams that have jumped off board, quote unquote, jumped off board, even though they're still technically bound to it by, the contracts that they signed, will they actually come back on board? Will the Inters, will the Milans, will the, all the Premier League clubs that bailed on it, will they come back? We'll see. It'd be something to monitor going forward. Anyway, guys, that's really all the news that I have for you today regarding all things Juventus. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Do you agree with the comments that Allegri and Vlahovic made? Do you like the player that is being rumored for Juventus? And of course, what are your thoughts on the injury situation and the Super League? I'd love to hear all that in the comment section down below. Make sure, if you haven't already, hit the like button, smash the subscribe button, hit that bell icon to stay notified for all of our latest videos. And if you haven't already, follow Bianconerizone at Bianconerizone on Twitter and Instagram, and follow me at Justin Sofro on Twitter as well. We'll see you next time. Forza Juve, Forza Bianconeri.